Hi guys, how have you guys been doing today? Well, I'm doing very good today. So, hey guys. So, very hello you guys today. So, it's Parker, Leslie Gassner, aka the movie and TV show review guy here once again. So, hey guys, wondering how you guys been doing today? Well, I'm doing very good today. So, today I'm doing a book review of Goosebumps The Vanished Returned. I reviewed I revealed the book of season 1 from 2023, which was Goosebumps The Haunting Return. This I'm talking about the novel of Goosebumps season 2, The Vanished Return. Um Instead of the other book. Sorry. Yes, this one. And there's this one. Yeah, the plot of season 1 was that 30 years ago, Harry Biddle died in a tragic accident. Now, the teenage kids of his classmates are determined to find out what really happened to him all those years ago. As long as Harry's spirit isn't out to revenge first, but Harry Biddle isn't the only one threatening the town of Port Lawrence from doppelgangers to haunted, or it's one creepy dummy. Azio, Margot, James, Lucas, and Isabel have to fight to stay alive or risk to become monsters themselves. Now I got into this one. 30 years ago, 4 teenagers appeared while exploring an abandoned military bunker. The story became a local legend in Gravesend, and when Devin and Cece come to visit their dad for the summer, they're dead to go inside. They dare to go inside, but something strange happens to Devin when he enters the old fort. So the teenagers in Gravesend are changing in order to stop the effects from spreading. Devin, Cece, and their friends have to figure out what happened to the first group who vanished. They didn't hurry to become the bunker's next victims. Yeah, so this book is all about season 2, The Vanishing from 2025. Yes, I know. I watched the new Goosebumps show from Disney Plus. I watched it, and I pretty much like the new show. I know a lot of you don't really like the show, but I respect your opinion if you really don't. So I like it. So now let's get into the plot of the book without getting further too much away. The first book took place in Port Lawrence. This one took place in Gravesend, Brooklyn. So it starts off in 1994 to a flashback with 4 kids named Maddie Brewer, Hannah, Nicole, and Samir. They all enter this old fort, this military bunker. And once they head inside, so once they head inside the fort, head to this room, this lab room, and then they're being caught by this kid named Stink, who is the young version of Anthony. So Matt takes Anthony outside, and then Maddie comes back inside and they start turning on the machines, and then all of them get attacked by a black suey substance. All of them get affected by the black substance. So then Maddie's face turns completely into like a skeleton. So now we get to the present day of 2024. 2 teens, Devin Brewer and Cece Brewer, who were staying at Rivers in Brooklyn for the summer to stay with their father, Anthony Brewer. Anthony was the kid from the 90s, the one who was inside the old Ford named Stink. And then So while they're walking for the town, this boy named CJ is a delivery driver, and he's on the motorcycle, and he's going to deliver food, and then he starts taking some stuff out of the bag and starts eating it. His mom comes out and is very upset at him. For not delivering so many food. So it's revealed that CJ is not a very good delivery driver. Man. And then Anthony and his kids head into their house, and then they see this car parked on their driveway. So it's revealed that this kid named Trey is trespassing on their driveway. So Anthony demands them to move the car up the driveway, but he refuses. So it's revealed that Trey is trespassing on their driveway. So they head into the house. Anthony has one rule for them: to stay out of the basement. So the first part of all this is stay out of the basement. So Anthony shows the kids what's in the basement. He tells them do not go in there. So later, when they head to the store, Devin and Cece sees this girl heading inside the store, which her name is Alex. Alex is trying to steal from the store, but the owner stops her. So she heads out of the shop. And then, when they head up to the park, they met up with Frankie. Now Frankie has a crush on a guy named Trey. This is the same guy who parked the car on the driveway to Anthony's. They also meet up with CJ, and they also meet up with Alex. So CJ tells them about the night that Maddie disappeared into the military bunker. He claims that they've been haunted by ghosts. So Devin says he's not scared of ghosts. So Trey dares him to prove it. And then later they head to the old fort. And then Devin heads inside while the others wait outside. So when Devin heads inside, he discovers the lab that the Ford team discovered in 1994. Now, Devin is taking a picture, and then back outside, Trey's messing with the lights, and then all four of the lights all turn off, and then Devin sees Maddie, and he's mad at them. Devin gets terrified, and then he completely falls down and he goes unconscious. So back outside, the kids are mad at him because Trey And then the kids are so mad at Trey because he just messed with the lights. So they demand him to turn the lights back on, but of course he refuses. And then Devin's very unconscious because he's trying to walk outside, but then Cece grabs him. The kids all leave the old fort. The next day back home, Cece's so angry at Devin for literally going into the old fort and seeing. She says that he really scared him. And he's so tired of him doing stuff like this. Not like this. And Cece heads up to work and she says that she's going to be working at a debate camp. So Devin and his father Anthony head to the hospital, and the nurse tells him that his mom is freaking out because she claims that she sees Maddie. So Anthony tells her that Maddie's gone, but his mom refuses to believe it. So then Anthony tries to calm her down. Then when she sits down next to Devin, she freaks out even more, and so the nurse calms her down. And so when Anthony sits next to Devin, he tells him that Maddie was his brother, and his mom couldn't really accept that he died. So later when they head back home, Devin is looking at the pictures of the kids from the military bunker, and he's looking at one of the kid named Maddie, the one that he saw in the military bunker in the old fort. So his father Anthony is hanging out in the basement. And then the plants get stuck on him. And then Devin tries to tell Anthony something, but Anthony says that he doesn't have a good time, so the plants are attacking him. And when Devin heads outside, so Devin gets scared, gets frightened, gets terrified, and then when he heads outside, tries to call his sister Cece, and then the plant grabs him, and the plant captures him and drags him to the tunnel. Then Devin escapes from the plants, and then when he heads outside, he has no idea what happened. So he gets to part 2 of Stay in the Basement. I remember the old show, in the old Goosebumps show, there were 2 parts of Stay in the Basement. Yeah, so here's part 2. The next day at Frankie's house, Frankie got so mad at Frankie's so upset because of what Trey did to Devin the other night before. She decides that she's already done with Trey because Trey's already been messing with people before. So Trey's working at the car store with his father. Then when Frankie comes, she breaks up with him because she's had enough of him messing with people. So then she leaves. So then when Devin heads... And so we saw Frankie's mom at her house. And then... So Devin heads to the store where Frankie's working at. And Frankie apologizes to Devin what happened the other night before. And she says that she has already broken up with Trey because she's had enough of Trey messing with people. So Trey notices that Devin and Frankie are hanging out. He gets very jealous. So later, while Devin is hanging out back home, he's calling Cece. Then someone comes, and it's Trey. So Trey gets mad at Devin for trying to take Frankie away from him. But Devin says that Frankie has already had enough with Trey. So both of them get into a fight, and then Frankie appears to stop them. So Trey gets back home, and then Frankie apologizes again to Devin for what happened. So then she leaves. So Devin heads back home. And then when Anthony heads back home, Trey has again parked his car again into his driveway. So Anthony has had enough of all this. So he smashes his car for revenge. No. And then Trey moves his car. And then, so later, Trey's gonna break into their house, into Anthony's house, because he wants to take revenge on him for what he did to his car. So Frankie appears and tries to stop him, but Trey refuses, and so he breaks into the basement and starts destroying stuff inside the basement. He starts tearing everything apart. And then the freezer opens, and then Trey gets stuck inside. And then Frankie has inside, and she tries to look for Trey, but instead she finds a monster who captures her. So Devin asks CJ for help for something. He shows him, so he heads to the tunnel. He tries to show him about the plants that he found the other day, but they're gone. And so head outside. CJ leaves while Devin heads back to his house and sees his monster capturing Frankie. So the monster takes Frankie to the car shop that Trey is working at. So the monster reveals that he is Trey and he's wearing the necklace. So Frankie's trying to get the stuff out of Trey, but it won't work. So the monster attacks Devin. So Frankie smashes the car on Trey. So Frankie tells Devin that the monster was Trey. And then, so later when Anthony heads back home, he discovers that his whole basement has been terrorized. So then the monster its spirit gets put into the car. It gets in part 3, which is the haunted car, and it's about Alex. And we'll later have a flashback from 1 year ago in 2024. She's hanging out with these kids in a party, and one of them is named Murph. Murph is playing with the fire, and then Alex helps Murph get the fire off his hand, and then the whole building has been burned apart, so they all leave the building. But Alex is the one who is being framed for Murph's crime of burning down the building. So she gets arrested by the police, and her mom Jen scolds her for this, and so Alex tries to explain to her mom that she didn't do this, but of course she doesn't believe her. So then Alex gets on to Murphy, gets on to Juvie. So I forgot to mention earlier in the story, Jen was talking to Anthony about what Trey did. She told Anthony not to mess with him. So in the present day, Alex was hanging out back home with her mom. Well, back at the River House, Anthony asked Cece if she's seen Trey, because he must have broken into his basement. But Cece says she hasn't seen Trey, so then she heads up to work at DB camp. And so then when Jen heads to Anthony's house, he tells her what happened. He tells her what he did to Trey's car. So Jen gets mad at him for this, because she told him not to mess with him. So Anthony and Jen go to Trey's car shop to look for Trey, but the father claims that he hasn't seen him. So they realize the car has been rebuilt. So they try to call Trey, but unfortunately they can't call him because he's still missing. So Alex is working with a construction worker, just taking out trash, and then she notices Murph is there. She has to go after him, so she gets into the car where Trey's car. So then she gets Cece for help of finding Murph, so she decides to help her. And when Alex tries to get Murph to talk to her, he refuses, and so Alex decides to go after him, but the car starts moving by itself. So they nearly try to kill Murph. And then Cece gets so mad at Alex for literally trying to kill him, but Alex claimed that she wasn't controlling the car, but Cece doesn't believe her, so she leaves the car and she goes with CJ. And then the car gets uncontrollable again. So Alice is driving fast with the car, then Murph is chasing after her. So Alex smashes Murph's car. Well, Alex gets out of the car and the car lands in the water. So later, Jen finds her daughter Alex, and she is so upset at her for being gone all day. She demands her to know where she's been. So she decides not to tell her what happened because she remembered 1 year ago that her mom, Jen, didn't believe her about what happened when she got framed for Murph's crime. So Jen drives Alex home. So then when they head home, Jen tries to ask Alex where Trey is, but Alex claims that she doesn't know where Trey is, so that she borrowed his car. Then when Anthony heads to the old fort where the four teens had went to, he finds Trey bottomless naked. So Anthony puts Trey in the car. So he calls Jen, saying that he found Trey in the old fort. And then he says that it's happening again. We get to part 4 of Monster Blood, which is Cece's storyline. So we get another flashback from 1 month ago before they went to Gravis in Brooklyn with their dad. So Devin and Cece were hanging out back home. And Cece heads to school, and the teacher tells her that she's not gonna get accepted into DB camp. So it's revealed that Cece has been lying about DB camp. So then when she heads outside, she starts freaking out. And we jump back to the present. Devin and Cece are hanging out back home, and then Cece heads out to work. And then at the DB camp. So when she's heading up to work, Alex gets her cup back. And then she leaves. So Devin and Frankie head to the hospital to see that Trey's in a coma, Trey's motionless. So Anthony and Jen head there and they see this woman doctor named Dr. Ramona Pamani. And she's the one who was taking care of Trey. So Anthony and Jen ask Ramona what happened to Trey, but she refuses to tell them. She says nothing really has happened to Trey. So Cece heads up to the restaurant and she hangs out with her friends. And then she puts kombucha into her cup, and the black gooey substance gets affected with the kombucha. So when Cece heads out to work to the therapist, she starts freaking out. Because she had drank the kombucha from the cup, and then when she heads to her house, and she heads to the bathroom, she's throwing up. And then Cece calls Devin, finally telling him the truth that she never went to the Bay camp. And she doesn't remember how she got there. And then when she headed back to the bathroom, discovered that the kombucha turned into a monster. So it chased her to the elevator. So Devin and Frankie came to save her. So they head to the train station. Devin confronted Cece for lying about going to the Bay camp. So they got a hug together. So they head to the train, the monster attacked them. They were able to defeat the monster. So Devin, Cece, and Frankie head to the old fort. Because they still want to know some answers about what's going on. When heads out of the old fort, they see Anthony working there, and he's wearing a hazmat suit. So they wanted to know if their father Anthony is the one behind all this, but Devin says it's highly impossible because he's their dad. So Anthony gets offended by the black gooey substance. So we got to part 5, which is the boy cried monster, the parody of the girl cried monster. So it's about CJ's storyline. So CJ is working at the restaurant. He has a sister and a mom. So CJ is always telling his sister about monster stories, and his mom scolds him for this, and she's getting so tired of all of it because it's getting so old for this. It's getting too old of telling monster stories. So CJ plans to take it seriously. He plans to make it for real. So Anthony's heading back home, and he's feeling really sick today because he got affected by the black gooey substance. And then, so then at the hospital, Trey finally wakes up and he says that he doesn't remember what happened. So Jen and Trey's father tried to ask him what happened, but he doesn't remember. So then Trey heads back home and Frankie heads there. And so this is when Trey finally apologizes to Frankie for being a much of a jerk lately, so they become friends again. So come back to CJ, and so CJ is heads up to Anthony's house. So he goes to check up on him. His eyeball falls off. His eye falls off, and then CJ leaves while Anthony puts his eye back together. So then when CJ heads up to the restaurant, he tries to tell his mom about what happened, but of course she doesn't seem to believe him because she knows this is one of his monster stories again. So when they go to check up on Anthony, he's already fine. So he gives them money. So then his mom fires him for his delivery job because she's gotten so tired of his monster stories. So CJ is back at the restaurant. He's complaining about his mom firing him. So he gets a call from Anthony saying that he needs to come back because he needs to explain about what happened. Because he thinks that CJ is thinking that Anthony's complaining for killing a monster. So Anthony tells CJ that he will explain everything. So when CJ heads there, Anthony doesn't remember calling CJ. Then Anthony captures CJ. And then come back to Devin, Cece, and Frankie. They're trying to figure out what's going on. So when Devin heads to the park, he meets the girl named Hannah, the same girl from the one who disappeared in 1994. It's back to Anthony and CJ. Anthony set up CJ and he's trying to beg Anthony to let him go, but Anthony refuses, so Anthony tries to get him to drink something, so they're fighting, and when Jen heads there, she gives him the tape that she found that she had hidden all these years. So Anthony confronts her for this and kicks her out of the house. And then when Anthony heads back to the basement, he sees that CJ has gone missing, has already been released from the chair. And so Devin and CJ are fighting, and then Trey axes off Anthony's head. So all the kids are so terrified of what happened. So they'll leave. So then Devin, Cece, and Frankie ask Alex about the car, but she doesn't accept because her mom told her to stay out of this. But then later she accepts and she decides to join them. So Devin heads off to see Hannah, while Dr. Ramona, the same woman who was taking care of Trey in the hospital, she captures Anthony's head, puts it in the bag. Let's get to part 6, the girl next door. So all the kids, including Stacey, they head to Anthony's grandmother's house, and so they put on the DVD and they started watching all the flashbacks. What happened to the 4 kids from 1994? Devin was living with his brother Manny in the house with their parents, and his mom, the same woman that was seen in the hospital that Anthony was checking up on. So they saw that Devin and his brother Anthony, Manny and his brother Anthony, they were friends with the 4 kids from the school, the ones who disappeared in the military bunker. Hannah, Nicole, and Samir. So Jen was there as well. So Jen was in love with Manny, but she was much of a jerk. So Manny did not let her go to Camp for Jerome with them. She hoped that he would die at Camp Nightmare. So when the 4 kids head into the bunker, Stank appeared there, and then so Manny takes him outside, and when Manny heads back inside, they'll get infected with a black gooey substance. So it's revealed what really happened to them is that Manny, Nicole, and Samir all got trapped in the black pods. So then Hannah discovers them and she gets terrified, and this monster takes her away. So Anthony's grandmother got so terrified, and the nurse took her away to calm her down. So then back to Devin. Hannah is taking Devin to the old fort, to Camp Nightmare, so that he can save Dad. But the kids come and arrive and reveal to Devin that she's not real because Hannah disappeared in the military bunker years ago. So it was just revealed to be Devin's imagination. It was just revealed to be a black gooey substance. And then, so when Devin is about to jump, Trey saves him. Trey stops him. So later at night, they're heading off to Anthony's house. So Trey apologizes to Devin like what he did with Frankie for being much of a jerk, so they become friends. So back to Dr. Ramona Pamani, she heads off to her workshop. So it's revealed that she wasn't really a doctor, she was just a woman pretending to be a doctor. So So she put Anthony's head on the table and she starts affecting him with her gun. And so now, machinery gun, and so now Anthony's trapped in the black pot like all the 14s from 1994. And then so about the kids at night, they head to the house to try to look for their father, but they can't find him. So when they head to the videotape of the camera recording, they find out that Dr. Ramona Pamani, the same woman who was at the hospital, captured Anthony. They got to part 7, which is Welcome to Camp Nightmare. They got their flashback from 1968 to a counselor named Garrett, who was taking the kids to the Camp Nightmare for Jerome, the old fort. And so then So the black suit gooey substance captures Garrett and the kids were terrified. Jumps back to the present in 2024 on the next morning when they were hanging out at Anthony's house. So CJ reveals to them that they've got more bad news because his mom has hired a new delivery driver. So then Trey shows him something on a video of his old father, Joe Jr. And it's revealed that Dr. Ramona Pamani is the one who was there. So when they head to the hospital, they asked Frankie's mom to show them the person who was taking care of Trey. So when they check out on the camera, they find Dr. Ramona Pamani. And then head to the library. They found the old book of Ramona and her dad, Avi Pamani. And so they sneak into Ramona's hideout, her workshop, and discover her old book. So we jump back to a flashback in 1969, the year after Garrett was captured by the black gooey substance. So it's revealed that Ramona and her dad Abby were working with a scientist on science experiments because they realized that something might be a threat, the ship might be a threat to their world, and that they need to stop the threat from happening. So unfortunately, it doesn't work apparently because the ship has stopped working, the machine has stopped working. Garrett comes back to life, but he's not himself anymore, so he's the alien. So Ramona and her dad knows that something is going on, something wrong is going on. And that, and then discovered that all the scientists have turned into aliens, that their eyes were falling off like what happened to Anthony. It was the same thing what happened to Trey. So Ramona gets on her ship while her dad gets affected as well. So Ramona was working on her book. So back at the present in 2024, Ramona stops them and she takes the book from them. She tells them her father was right, so the ship was a threat. Her main enemies were the Brewer family, so she took Anthony. So she captured Anthony and trapped him in the black pod. So Cece asks Ramona to help them, so she decides to help them. So we cut up to Anthony, who's back in the black pod. So we get to finally to part 8, the invasion of the Bio Squeezers. So Ramona infects them so they don't get affected by the ship. So head into the basement. Head to the downstairs where Ramona and her dad used to work out. So Ramona betrays them and traps them down there. So then they're able to save their dad, Anthony. So now Anthony has finally realized his brother Maddie and the 14s were there the whole time. They were trapped in the black pod. So they went down to save them. The Generals just terrified to find Maddie there. So now at the house, the kids are hanging out with the 14s who were messing in the military bunker. So Anthony reconciles with his brother Maddie. So when he gets outside, he tries to get Jen to get inside to talk to Maddie. But Jen refuses because she says that the 14s have died years ago. And so she tries to take them away. But Anthony refuses, and he says the only one who knows all this is Dr. Ramona Pamani. So the teens are still hanging out. Still planning to hang out. So later at night, Anthony and Jen head to Ramona's hideout workshop, and they find out that Ramona's brought her dad back to life. And now they confront Ramona for doing this because her father had died. Because her father had died years ago. And they confront Ramona for doing this after all they've been through. So then her dad is not himself anymore, so he turns into an alien and it kills Ramona. So then Anthony and Jen destroy the alien and discover that the 4 teens from the military bunk at the old fort for 1984, Maddie, Hannah, Samir, and Nicole, they're about to turn into aliens as well. So Anthony and Jen rush up to save them. And then one by one, each of them got turned into aliens as they capture the kids. So Anthony and Jen discover that they've been captured, so they head back to Ramona's hideout to save the kids from the aliens. Down to see all the kids of the main characters have been trapped in the black pods. And then so then they're able to save the kids, and the ship is gone. So everybody has an imagination, and when he sees all the kids along with the scientists, they're all going up to the afterlife. So everybody wakes up, and John says that he saved the kids. So it comes out to a few weeks later after summary. All the kids are saying goodbye. The kids are saying goodbye to their friends. They all go up and get a hug together. Then Donnie and Cece head back to their hometown with their father Anthony. And then when Trey gets back home, he spits something out of his mouth, something black goo. So that's pretty much the end of the story. So you guys know that I pretty much love the first book of Goosebumps from 2023, The Haunting Returns. Yes, because I love the first season, and I love the second season as well. So I reviewed the first book a while ago, The Haunting Returns. So this is The Vanished Returned. So I like the book. It's good as the first one. I like the characters in it. Favorite one was Anthony, and yeah, I like Anthony. I like the dad they had, the botanist. And the story was very great. I loved all the flashbacks and that stuff. And now the villain in here is Dr. Ramona Pamani, and there's the aliens. Yeah, in the last book, Kandu was the main villain. This one is Dr. Ramona Pamani. About the special effects are really cool, and about the visuals are very nice. About the editing inside this book is really amazing. About the direction was very nice. About the background was really cool. And I felt the script inside the book was really nice. I felt the writing was very amazing. I felt the acting inside the book was really cool. And also but the monsters inside the book were really cool. I know season 1 was about supernatural events. This one was about CGI and aliens, and I like that. Okay. And also I felt that and also yeah. I felt the CGI inside the book was really amazing. I felt the structure in it was really nice. I felt the pacing was really cool. And I felt steaming was very amazing. And also I felt the settings, the locations inside the book were really cool. And also I felt the climax battle was really amazing, and finally found the ending was really cool. So I thought this was a really cool book. I thought it was really great as the first one. So like it's 10 out of 10. Yeah, 10 out of 10. So thank you guys for joining my book review, Goosebumps, The Vanished Return from 2025. The first one was released from 2023. This one was released from 2025. Season 2 was from 2025 from last year. They both were on Disney Plus. I really liked them. So I'm also really sad that the show got canceled, but I still really like the show. And so again, thank you guys for joining my book review of Goosebumps, The Vanished Return. The Vanished Return from 2025. And don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. And goodbye everyone. See you soon. Until next time.